What's going on, Mr. RapNerd? And it was announced yesterday that a remake for the cult classic sci-fi horror movie, The Faculty, is in the works. I wanted to talk about it yesterday, but I didn't have a moment of time to just dump my thoughts, and I'm running errands on Saturday, so I figured it's a perfect day to do that. So to start off, The Faculty is one of my favorite horror movies, period. If it's not in my top 10, it's definitely in my top 15, and I absolutely adore that film. And honestly, I'm a mixed bag with that because I'm not fully against remakes, but I also have remakes that I do love more than the original. So it really just depends on the execution of the remake, if you will. And I saw John Squires on Bloody Disgusting tweet something, in regards to this, saying that we're now in the era of 90s and 2000s remakes. And it kind of was like, huh? But when I think about it, I can see that because of what's been happening with recent years, and I feel like we're out of the 70s and 80s remake era that really hit in the 2000s. I feel like in 2002 or 3, I believe, the kickoff was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I feel like is one of the best remakes ever, alongside Dawn of the Dead. I think those are the two best horror remakes. And those films and others like it are the reason why I'm never against remakes, because I feel like some remakes do deserve that treatment, especially when the film has avenues to, tackle and or can be done better because of today's technology. One of those films that I've seen recently is Twisters. I feel like I understand why a remake was done for that movie, because that film leans heavily on visual effects. And when they announced it, I was like, you know what? I could see them actually crushing this, because the VFX are so much better these days that there's a lot of things that they could do that they couldn't do back then. Does the movie capture the same magic as the first one? No. Is it better than the first one? No, it's not. But it still is a damn good movie that offers something that the first one didn't. And that's the key to what a remake is. You don't shoot to try and make it better than the classic. I don't think any of these do that. They just want to provide a different experience and give care and passion to that project to make it good. A lot of remakes, they don't do that. There are a lot of remakes that have really fall short on that end, so a lot of folks don't like them. But I'm here to be like, I'm in the middle. I just want to see the product. And with The Faculty, with something that I hold so closely to my heart, I hope that they do it justice. Is being written by the writer and director of the movie Companion that just dropped over the weekend, which I enjoyed. And I feel like they waited for that movie to release to announce this, because Companion has been, rated and reviewed well. It's a good movie. So that gives me some solace about the whole film, that like, okay, they got this writer behind it. I don't know who is going to direct it, but I know Robert Rodriguez is involved, and he was the original director of the film, and it was written by Kevin Williamson. So, I'm optimistic about it, and hoping, that they do it justice. And I kind of just wanted to give my 2 cents about, the idea of a remake. So I looked at some articles to see details, but there really aren't any details. They're calling it a remake right now, but I'm hoping that's just what they're calling it, and that's a placeholder for now, because I believe in 2023, when Robert Rodriguez was doing interviews for Hypnotic, the movie with Ben Affleck, I think it was with Jake Takes. If I could find it, I'm going to splice it in.
Because over the past few years, we've seen some iconic horror movie cast reunited. Jamie Lee Curtis came back for Halloween. The Screen cast got back together. We're about to see The Exorcist, I Know What You Did Last Summer cast reunite. I'm a massive fan of The Faculty.
Put him the fuck down for long.
Is there any chance that we could ever see that cast back together? Is there ever any kind of a story that would bring those guys back together?
It could be. I can't tell you what we're working on, but there could be.
Was the implication that you're working on something?
We've been trying to do that for a while. So yeah, we're hoping we can do that someday. Yeah, definitely.
Oh my God. All right. That's fantastic.
But he was talking about doing a sequel to The Faculty, and he's been playing with the idea with companies about doing that, opposed to a full-on remake. And to be honest, I would much prefer a sequel to the film, because I feel like this movie in particular, as a remake, I don't see the reason for doing it, because the original is built on really good special effects that still hold up to this day. There are some VFX that have aged pretty poorly, like the fish tank scene and the scene on the football field that's an iconic shot, which I still think looks good, but when the rain is, pouring and you see the whole football team looking up and it kind of lightning flashes and you see these little tentacles, but they're all, CGI. Those are like the few scenes that don't hold up, but the entirety of the movie is built off of practical effects. The big ass monster, the worms, and all of that nasty shit that they show, and even the effects with the face showing like the tentacles moving inside the human's face. I think it all still works as a film when you watch it now. So I don't really see how just kind of getting a whole new set of teenagers to go through the same type of things, unless they switch it to make it like a college campus. That would make it different, and there are mad possibilities you could do there. If they go that route, you could make a solid movie, But my thing is, does it offer something different to separate the two? Like, why watch this one when it doesn't give me anything, new or cool like the original? I feel like Black Christmas has gone through that with the newer one. I don't even dislike the new one that came out, I believe, in 2019, but it's just a thing of like, it just doesn't really add anything to, the remake before it or the original. I think the remake in the 2000s kind of switched things up enough to make it different because it's way more, camp and kooky than the first one. So I can see the differences there, but a lot of people don't even like that version of the movie. So it's kind of like, I feel if you want to do the remake here, it's something to offer it. You got to make something different. And I feel like the better route to me is the sequel. Like, I really think it would be more beneficial to go the route of picking up where the characters left off in the original, seeing them all these years later, especially all of the actors who were in the movie are still active. One of the biggest ones being Josh Hartnett. He is hot as fish grease right now, especially coming off a Trap recently. Who wouldn't want to see more of that guy? He's one of the most likable actors. So to see where he went from the end of the original, getting into football, it would be cool to see if he actually went forward with being in the NFL and seeing what that might be like, or even Casey being the man of the hour of somebody who broke the idea of aliens, coming to the world, and Jordana possibly being a journalist. And there's so many things that you could do with that. It feels like a mix of Sandlot and the It movies, being able to see them now and bring them back to, their town to figure out what's going on, or like that to me is a very, very interesting concept that could be a great legacy sequel to put butts in seats, because I personally want to see that, and I know there are a lot of folks who are fans of the movie and in the horror community who would be more warm to that opposed to just a flat-out remake. And you can really turn this thing into an IP possibly if this film is good, the same way Scream has done. I feel like that is one of the best ways to revitalize a franchise. The way Scream went about 5 and 6, perfect. You bring back some old characters to kind of keep the family ties there while introducing other characters that people may like. You could do that here, especially with a concept of alien invasion. There are so many different things that this could end up being if written in a way that opens up this world, you know what I mean? So all that being said, I am extremely interested to see what they're going to do with the film, because the original is one of my favorites, and I just hope they do it justice. With the people involved, I think that there will be justice done to it. Again, you have the original director here producing to kind of keep his eyes on the sights of these characters, and a good writer here, so who knows who's going to direct it, but I'll watch it. I'm never going to turn down the remake, because there are some remakes that released that I like more than the original. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about the idea of a remake of The Faculty? Would you prefer a flat-out remake with all new characters and cast, or would you prefer the idea of a legacy sequel bringing the old cast back? And if you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, thank you. And until next time, peace.
RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy. Instead of banking on it, now rapping is just a hobby.